Truth is like poetry. Nobody wants to hear it. Most people don't take time to get into the weeds of their finances because they're afraid of what they'll find. How many of you have a financial plan in place? How many have actively started funding a retirement account? Do you currently write a monthly budget and actually stick to it? Is it because you believe you can't afford to contribute to a retirement account? Or is it because you believe you're too young to even think about retirement? If you have those thoughts, you are seriously putting yourself at risk of never being able to fully retire. First, let's look at the power of a budget. I heard a quote that has really resonated with me through the years, and it is, a budget is telling your money where to go versus wondering where it all went. Most people don't make time to do a 10 to 15-minute budget every month and essentially miss out on saving hundreds of dollars every month. A budget gives you a snapshot of your life from a monetary perspective. By having a budget, you can identify areas of opportunity to save and reallocate dollars to a meaningful savings. Next, let's discuss the power of time. Compound interest is often referred to as the eighth wonder of the world. Don't believe me? Albert Einstein was quoted saying compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Still not convinced? Here's the legend of the inventor turned king. The king was pleased. He had every reason to feel this way. One of his subjects had invented a sport that had become his new favorite pastime. The game went by the name of chess. The inventor was asked to appear before the king. The generous king asked the inventor to name his reward, anything the inventor desired. The inventor answered and shocked the king. I'm a simple man of few wants, he said. My needs are few. Give me 1 grain of rice for the first square of the chessboard, 2 grains of rice for the second, 4 for the third, so on and so forth, each square having doubled the number of rice than the previous square. This is all I ask, O generous king. The king was offended. Here he was, a mighty emperor, ruler of the land, asking this peasant to name anything he wanted, anything he desired, and all he asked for was a few grains of rice. Surely this was an insult to the king. I mean thee no disrespect, O mighty king. This is all my heart desires and all that I need, replied the peasant. The king calmed down and ordered his minister. Give this fool what he wants, and let us be done with his request. Take him out of my sight immediately. A week passed, still no sign of the minister. He was asked to appear before the king. Explain your absence, said the irritated king. We are still trying to procure the required number of rice to fulfill the chessboard, your majesty. We have sent people far and wide to collect the rice, but we still haven't been able to procure enough rice. The minister should not even bother. The required amount of rice has not been produced in the history of mankind. For the mathematically inclined, the number of rice grains required to fill the chessboard is 18 quintillion, 446 quadrillion, 744 trillion, 73 billion, 709,551,000, and 605 grains of rice. Or, that is 210 billions of rice, enough to cover the land mass of India. Do you see the power of compound interest now? Time is the fuel. The power of 72 is powerful. This tells us that a 7.2 market rate of return, which is pretty conservative, our money will double every 10 years, and vice versa. At 10% market rate of return, which is about average, our money will double every 7.2 years. Try it out for yourselves. Many young professionals believe they're too young to even think about retirement. But according to the Morningstar in 2017, if a 25-year-old wants to have $1 million in a retirement account at the age of 65, they need to save $381 every month. Now, this may seem like a lot starting out, but let's compare this figure to the cost of waiting. If a 35-year-old wanted $1 million in a retirement account with the stock market average rate of return, they would have to save $820 every month. And for a 45-year-old, they would have to save $1,920 every month just to have $1 million in a retirement account by the age of 65. The cost of waiting is expensive. Now imagine how amazing life would be starting At 25, you're now 45, and only having to allocate $381 every month to your goal. You can either increase the savings to make retirement just that much more better, or you can decide to live life in the moment, take trips with family, be spontaneous. You can do this because you've already taken care of your planning early. And finally, probably the second most important thing behind time is having a financial advisor. By having an advisor, you can seek advice and have access to the tools that they have access to. Everyone in retirement's biggest fear is that they'll run out of money in retirement. By having an advisor, you'll be able to know your magic number for retirement. Advisors have tools that will track to see if you will be on pace to hit your savings goal for retirement. And if not, adjust and plan accordingly to ensure that you do. No one wants to run out of money 10 years into retirement and now have to go back to work as a greeter at Walmart. And no, Social Security is not retirement. So pick up your phones, Google what to look for when choosing an advisor, or even ask a family member for a personal recommendation to their financial advisor, and get your financial plan in place and start planning for your future now, not tomorrow.